The group stage of Masters Tokyo had 6 teams from Americas, EMEA and Pacific leagues as well as 2 invited teams from China battling for the 4 playoff spots. The group stages just got over and we witnessed some marvelous aces, some insane clutches, history being created and not to forget 4 days of some world-class Valorant. I am Miracle, I talk Valorant and in case you missed all this action, you're in luck today as we recap the entire group stages of Masters Tokyo 23. Let's dive in. The first day of Masters Tokyo had 3 matchups. We first saw Foot Esports from EMEA face off against Evil Geniuses from Americas. EG were able to take the series 2-0 thanks to Boostio, who was a monster on the second map of Lotus. He dropped 35 kills and gave us some moments of sheer awesomeness.
The lockdown, Boostio swings out and gets 4. Maj in an impossible situation, and the very first ace in Japan goes to Boostio.
For the second matchup of the day, we had DRX from the Pacific go up against Attacking Soul Esports, one of the 2 invited teams from China. DRX were able to end the series in a comfortable 2-0 fashion, thanks to the heroics of Mako and RB. The final matchup of day 1 had Edward Gaming, the second invited team from China, fighting against T1, the 3rd seed from the Pacific region. This was a tense fight between both the teams as both the sides weren't giving in easily. This was also the series where this happened.
They still got to chip away at the bank now. The bankroll of EDG, sorry.
Kangkang's got room to work here, and once again, rinse and repeat, run it on back. He's going to find Sire player. He avoids all the utility, but he can't avoid Ban. Yes, he can! Dips away, and he's still standing! He's still doing damage! Ban's in the middle of CT, he's trying to find something further. Chichu's got him dead, and Kang, how is he? How is he doing that? How is he doing that? I've never seen
That is outrageous!
However, in the end, T1 was able to take the series 2-1 even after a 71 kill game from EDG's kangkang. The second day of Masters only had 2 matches, but in terms of entertainment, it was as action-packed as the first. The day started with some classic NA vs EU rivalry in the form of NRG vs Navi. As expected, this series had everyone cling to the edge of their seats as NRG and Navi went back and forth. This was also a matchup between 2 of the best IGLs that Pro Valorant has ever seen, FNS vs Angel. NRG in the end were able to win 2-1. The second matchup was also no less as DRX and Evil Geniuses were fighting to secure their place in the playoffs. This matchup amazed everyone as EG used some masterful strategies against DRX to not only defeat them but also to take the win in a comfortable 2-0 fashion. Now for those who don't know, DRX themselves are strategically very sound and are known for their ability to counter-strike their opponents on the fly. Pure genius from Potter and the other EG players. With that win, EG became the first team to qualify for the playoff stage. The third day started with an intense fight between NRG and T1, and this time the playoff spot was on the line. The intense back and forth between the 2 duelists, Saya player and Ardis, was really entertaining. In the end, NRG took the series 2-1 and became the second team to qualify for the playoffs. The second matchup of the day was between Foot Esports and Attacking Soul Esports. Foot Esports fought hard and in the end were able to take the series 2-1, even after having a shaky start to the series. This series ended something like this.
Kiwi with 2, Kiwi with 3, and that very well may be the dagger. The opportunity for an ace is delivered. Foot, stay alive.
With that defeat, Attacking Soul Esports became the first team to be eliminated out of Masters Tokyo. The final matchup of the day was also a do-or-die match for Navi and Edward Gaming, and this match was one to be remembered. We were able to witness some top-class Valorant and the potential of China as a region. No doubt that coming into this matchup, Navi were the absolute favorites, but EDG turned the table upside down as they made history by winning this series and giving Chinese Valorant their first win at an international stage. We saw a thrilling overtime comeback from EDG on Pearl, which was Navi's pick. We also saw some kang special as we saw him obliterate the Navi players with his op skills while he was on a Gecko. Mind blowing. Navi took a 2-0 loss and with that were eliminated out of Masters Tokyo. The final day of group stages were the 2 do-or-die matches, which also meant confirmed playoff spots for the winning teams. DRX vs Foot had a nail-biting first map of Bind, where Foot dominated DRX with a 9-3 half. DRX put up a really good fight in the end, but could not make it all the way, and Foot Esports took the first map of Bind. However, DRX being DRX and known to qualify for playoffs at any cost, they made it happen again. DRX seemed unstoppable on the final map of Haven as they finished 13-4 and showed the entire world why they should be considered as serious runners for the Champions title. With that defeat, Foot Esports were out of Masters Tokyo, but they still made history by being the first Turkish team ever to qualify for Champions. The second matchup was between T1 and EDG, and this was the second time that these two teams were facing each other in this tournament. The previous matchup between these two teams produced some great moments as we saw the Chinese op pop off, but still T1 were able to bag the win. However, this time, after EDG's win on day 3, they made this promise.
So your opponent for tomorrow is T1. You are going to make a revenge, right?
明天将要再遇 T1 了，也是一场再相遇，你会成功复仇吗
T1，我们明天就把你送回家。
You wanna fuck with me?
？T1, we're
Wait, what?
sending you guys home tomorrow.
T1 明日お前たちを国に返してやる。
Wow!
And yes, EDG kept their promise and won the series 2-0, sending T1 home and becoming the first Chinese team ever to make it out of the group stage. Yes, they created history once again. With that, we had our 4 teams, Evil Geniuses and NRG from Americas, Edward Gaming from China, and DRX from the Pacific locked in for the playoff spot. These teams will now be facing the top seeded teams from the Americas, EMEA and Pacific leagues, and the winner of this stage would be crowned the VCT Masters Tokyo champion. Hope you found this video useful and helpful, and I will see you in the next one.